EPQ stands for Extended Project Qualification.
An extra qualification that you can do.
It's half an A-level.
Which should take about around a year.
You can choose between
a 5,000 word essay or 1,000 word with an artefact on any subject that you want, as long as it's not related to your A-levels.
Chance to look more into something we're interested in
And present it in front of your supervisors. Science experiments, you could do art.
You can choose something completely contemporary or like really old. You have to research it, you've got to come up with evidence to sort of show that you're doing the right thing, why it would make a difference.
Introduction, your main body, a bit of locational context, that sort of thing, and then you're thinking about ethical considerations, that sort of thing.
First I researched the problem, so I chose not caring for your pets properly. So I had to go and look at RSPCA stats, how many people own household pets. I had to research care requirements for every single different pet that I'd include. I'd been wanting to make an app for a long time, and this was just an opportunity to make it for a qualification. So this is the app, and you can add pets to each different home. So choose a photo, name, notification pops up, tap on the notification. You can obviously go to the dog, tap feed, tap water, it marks it as completed on your calendar. So that's the basic concept of the app.
Mine was on, is the use of anabolic steroids in sports putting the user's body at an unnecessary risk? It managed to cover loads of aspects which I'm interested in, so I didn't lose focus on it.
Mine was on the psychological effects of being a fan, and I looked at mental health, different classifications, science to do with the brain. It shows that it can lead to anxiety, depression, and it can also lead to schizophrenia, which is quite scary.
I did mine on drone technology and how potentially it could replace sort of classic man in a van delivering parcels.
Mine was on the similarities between the effects of cocaine and sugar. I found out that the long-term effects of excessive sugar and cocaine consumption and use are exactly the same. So the effects on your heart, the effects on your brain, and it's not really talked about.
It was the importance of biomimicry in creating a sustainable future. A lot of the changes we make through biomimicry. So now we'll create a more sustainable future because the changes which create more sustainability are ones which also increase productivity, efficiency and lower price. So because of that, it's attractive to the companies and they're the ones that should have the impact end of day.
Mine was on the ethics of environmental psychology in consumer fashion. Use of psychology in a place that you're in to encourage various different sort of responses. So for example, in a store, they have 2 upward escalators, only 1 downward escalator to encourage movement upward, to encourage you to like buy more stuff upstairs.
I knew it was going to be hard at the beginning because obviously it's an add-on to the rest of your subjects, so completely different. It's not linked. You can't have a project which is linked to any of your subjects. But as soon as I started doing the research, you get more and more in depth in it and you sort of start to enjoy it and learn more. You really have to decide on something that you're going to be interested in for the whole time. But now that I look back, it is really, really good for life experience and researching.
So I learned a lot of things actually doing my EPQ. I learned how to collect and research large quantities of data. When I have those sources, cite them, check if they're reliable, and then bring them all together to use the best bits from different sources to try and produce the best essay I could. So I think it's also a life skill which is potentially being learnt about like responsibility and time management and planning.
We went on a Southampton trip, so we used all their resources there in their massive library. Evaluating the source, where's it from, who wrote it, when was it written, did you get it from a book, internet, did someone else write it and then that was a revised source and things like that. And I think that's just really useful for any sort of project that's done in later life as well.
Once you get something you're interested in, it suddenly becomes, it's something I enjoyed going to and studying. I suppose it's something I had to do.
Piece of advice is that I would get it done as quickly as possible so you can focus on your exams. Choose something that you're totally interested in and you're going to be invested in, otherwise it's just going to be a drag.
So obviously it's the closest thing I think to what I would believe to be a dissertation. So you set up your abstracts and your aims, you go and research it, and then you carry out what you need to do. I also think so because I want to do something like computer science at university, Doing this is obviously I'm learning skills for computer science with the topic I chose because it's relevant to what course I want to do. Hopefully it will boost my UCAS application and whatnot.
For me, because I'm doing a sort of a vocational degree, I've done a lot of interviews, and the one thing that interviewers always ask me about is my EPQ, because it's a long piece of writing. It's longer than anything you'll do in coursework, or at least as far as I know, it's longer than anything I've done. And it's incredibly highly regarded by universities because it sets you apart because you've already done your own independent research. I feel much more confident going into September, having knowing how to do my own independent research and put together a long piece of writing.
It's a good reflection of what you would be doing at university. For me, Birmingham has offered me a reduced offer with if I get an A in EPQ.
A lot of my unis have given me the option of UCAS points instead of grades. It means I don't have to rely as heavily on some of the subjects I struggle in. I've learnt Harvard referencing, so that's definitely going to be a big bonus when I go to uni. I've never been that strong at writing essays. It gives me a bit of a head start, and I suppose with my coursework as well, it's great.
Or even subjects like geography have a coursework sort of side of it. And doing the EPQ, you are already a step further ahead than everyone else who hasn't done one.
But also it's just fun to learn about something that you don't learn about in A-levels.